Guys, what's up, everybody? Welcome. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Keeping It Realty. I'm your host, Yolanda Brockington, the Powerhouse Realtor. I have a power couple with us today. Oh my goodness, I always want to mix your name. Marissa and Jemarcus. I want to say Marissa something. I want to just mix you two together.
Marissa.
Every time I say one name, I can't think of one and not the other. So it's like when I'm talking, I want to just merge you guys and say both. You guys are doing your thing in Texas. Bro, where you're from, Jemarcus? What area? KFC, right?
Kansas City. Well, I'm originally from Arizona, actually, but I consider myself a native to Kansas City because I lived there for so long. Army brat growing up. My mom's military, so she ended up getting stationed in Fort Leavenworth. So that's how I ended up in KC, and then eventually, we migrated our way down here to Dallas.
Nice. And what did you tell me, sis, when you went down to Texas? Like, I never wanted to come back.
Yes. So I'm from California originally. I'm from Fresno, California originally, repping the Valley. Lived there, moved out when I was 19 years old, moved to Kansas City. I was there for about 7 years in Kansas City. I liked it, but I felt like I needed to do something bigger with my life. So I moved down to Dallas, or I visited Dallas. I visited my best friend here in Dallas, and I fell in love. I loved it. And we talked about it and we moved down here. So I'm never leaving.
Listen, when I came to stay with you guys, I was like, oh my gosh, it was just, the ride was beautiful. The area was beautiful. But you guys are far from our friends in Texas. So coming to visit you guys, I felt like I was driving in like dirt roads and I see big old gas stations and I'm like, where the heck am I going? But I'm still driving. I want to just thank you guys. I know I said it enough at your home, but coming to Texas, you guys definitely open your doors to me with no hesitation, no problem. It was like, hey, fam, come through, make yourself at home. I got to cuddle with the dogs a little bit, a lot of pit bulls, but I enjoyed it. You guys were really, really good. And so I brought you on the show today because I admire you. You guys inspire me so much. Being in a relationship, right? Mm-hmm. And also doing the real estate business. And then you also are partners and you're together every day, all day. I want to get into what makes you guys great. How do you guys blend and anything that you can offer to really help other couples. So the point of this is to really talk about the power couple that you guys are so that we can share nuggets to other people that may be in relationship, right? Because I believe that if two people are in the same, business, but then you also are at home, having that separation to be able to talk about business or have that personal relationship and it kind of gets merged in. But what you guys have been doing and why I consider you the power couple is because you guys do it together, as a team. Marissa, straight dispose, Jemarcus, you do acquisition. Like you guys have those things set in place. And it makes your business so strong in addition to that friendship that you have. So I want to get into your story a little bit. Did you guys get started into wholesaling while you were in Kansas City, or was it something that happened when you guys came to Texas?
So wholesaling and real estate, that didn't happen until we were in Texas. I originally moved down here for another business opportunity and another venture with my good friend and mentor. And we're actually still in business with him to this day on the dog side of things.
I love it.
Yes. But I moved down here originally to come work with him in a fitness venture that we were working on, that he was, working on as well too. Unfortunately, that kind of folded due to a lot of government restrictions on some things that he was looking to change ergonomically, on how the body functions, etc. So when I moved down here, for me, that was like a year-long boot camp, just living with them, living with my mentor. It was a way for me to build my mind, my mindset, all kinds of things like that. And then she had stayed in Kansas City at the time along with my son. And that was probably one of the hardest years of my entire life, being away from them, being under the scrutiny of being with my mentor 24/7 and just constantly just going through the gauntlet for a year straight. But that was what set in motion our journey to real estate. Fast forward, I ended up having a heat stroke in the middle of a very intense workout that we were outside for like 5-6 hours. My body was depleted of all fluid, so I went to a severe heat stroke where my body started cramping up tremendous, like most worst feeling I've ever felt in my entire life. I literally felt like I was dying. Wow. But in that moment when I was laying on the ground waiting for the ambulance to come put an IV in me to replenish my fluids, I remember like, this is not my dream. I'm not willing to die for this dream. Like, because, you know, I'm helping him build his business, but what is it that I want to do? What is it that we want to do so that we can grow and build our own thing? And in that moment, that evening, I remember calling her and just sitting there, and it was like, hey, we got to figure out how we can leverage our finances, leverage our money into doing something to where it can create, you know, repeatable income for us. So I hit her up and I was like, you know, we got to start reading some financial books, see what we can learn, how we can just learn how to leverage our finances like that. And in doing so, what she would do is she went out and bought a bunch of finance books. And at the time I was also working a bartending job here. So she would read those books. I would get off of work late at night, and on my way home from work, you know, we would always talk every single day, all day. She would then teach me everything that she read that evening. And so going through those financial books and her teaching me in the process, everything kept pointing back to real estate. And
Got it. Yeah, so real quick, and I always like to stop my guests a little bit. And I apologize. But for those that are just getting started with us, I want to welcome you, first of all, to Keeping It Real Tea. I'm here with Marissa and Jemarcus, and we're just talking about how they got started. One thing that I want to point out that Jemarcus is saying repeatedly is how Marissa was there to really support him. You know, he's away from Marissa. He's away from his son. He's kind of, you know, shifting his whole mindset. He's also working, right? Because he has to, you know, still make means. Marissa is now reading books, doing things. And then when she talks to him later on that night, she's now teaching him what she read. The most important thing there is that partnership and that support. For me, it's very important to really shed light talking about couples, because as you guys know, I recently got divorced. And this show, I am all about keeping it real, right? I wish I had that in my husband. And I think I might have shared that with you guys. I wish I had that, like, and when I say support's different, right? Like somebody can say, oh, I support you. Yay, rah, 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 go. Yeah. But when I say support, I mean like that understanding to what I'm doing to learn it with me. Yep. And not that we want to crutch on each other, but if you do need that crutch, I want to crutch on my support system, that companionship, that person that I'm with, because you know me in and out. You know my weaknesses, you know my flaws. When you're getting into a partner that you're not with, you have to learn that partner. You got to learn their flaws. You got to figure out what works, what doesn't work. With you two, you were already figuring out what worked, what don't work, what's the weaknesses. So the number one thing, you want to be able to be supportive. And again, it's not just that kind of, oh, hey, I got you, support, you got this. You know, you want to be in and taking action. Again, even if it's not a couple, you still want to do it. But on a couple level, you have to do it, and you got to do it in a different light where that person needs you. Get that support. So without that, Jemarcus, you would have really been not having as much information as you needed. You knew what you needed to do, right? I want to create multiple streams of income. I want to get into, you know, building this wealth, but I'm here at this job, right? I'm starting this business with my friend. I'm going through this heat stroke. Now I'm, you know, body's aching. I'm not just into the person that I'm in 100% to do what I need to do, but I know what I need to do. So Marissa, to really step in and help that, like, girl, this is why you're shining and glowing now, because you are the implementer, sis. You've been like, okay, look, we got to read these books. Let me buy these books and read it. I'm going to teach you this. I'm going to, you know, do that. And people don't have that in relationships. And I told you guys when I was with you, what you have is so special. That's why I brought you on the show. I know a lot of couples. I know a real estate couple that I actually want to offer to come on the show and just talk to them from their standpoint. But you guys are that power like glue. And when we look at you and we're in the group and we admire what you're doing in the group, I love the fact that you two stick together. You had a partner that didn't work out, but what you say, Marissa, still got to do what you got to do. You know, you guys were willing to have, you know, more partners into what you were doing, but that wasn't the fit for what God had aligned in your business. The business is for you two to be that power couple that you are, so that you can continue to show and lead the way for other people to see, listen, we can be in a relationship. We can keep it separate and we can make money together. What did I say? If I'm making, 100,000 or whatever, and you're making 250,000, now together we have 350,000. Like, it just makes more sense.
Yes.
And when people are more compatible, it allows you to do what you do. And I love the fact that you guys definitely support. I can't stress it enough that support is so needed. Even, we talked about real estate the whole time, right? Mm-hmm. And so we're talking and you guys had this structure. It's like, all right, I know what I got to do. Jemarcus, she's like, all right, I know what I got to do. I asked Marissa a question. She's like, oh, that's Jemarcus. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So it's like you have your platform as to who doing what. Right. Very important when you're in a partnership is to really understand who's to do what. What's my assignment? What's my job? Yeah. And then, of course, if something happens on Jemarcus' end, then Marissa, you can step in and do that acquisition. Same, vice versa. But you guys have your individual roles, and then you also support where it is needed. So I'm sorry, guys, but if you did just catch that, I wanted to make sure that you understand it's so important to support and how Marissa did support Jemarcus. So, bam. So we're at the point where she's showing you what you need to do. You're still back at home. You guys are still separate.
Yeah.
And tell me about how you kind of got to that first deal and, how you understood a little bit more.
So, I mean, that was
actually, I might have dropped the gun because even though you guys are reading books, tell me from there, like, where did you get your, okay, I really want to do this real estate thing. Now we're going to take it to the next level. Did you go to a boot camp, meet people, or kind of learn on your own?
Yeah, so it was Jemarcus's discovery. He found wholesaling, and he told me, he was like, hey, we need to start wholesaling. And he told me the concept, and I was like, there's no way this is real. There's no way. He's like, yes, this is our answer. This is what we can do. I had no idea what I was doing. And so we were like, well, let's just learn as we go. Mm-hmm. So we failed forward. We connected with a bunch of people in real estate. We met our first mentor in real estate, and, we just kind of repeated the process, and we ended up closing our first deal for $14,000. So
$12,000.
$12,000.
Tell me about this deal.
Months. Yeah, 14 months.
14 months?
Yes. 14 months.
Okay, 14 months you guys are putting in this time, putting in this work, trying this wholesale thing out. You have mentors and you're not closing anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
How was that for you guys in the relationship?
It was very stressful because, we both needed this deal to close because at the time we both lost our jobs for COVID. And so we both lost our jobs. So we were unemployed at this time, and we were just like, okay, well, we have to, our backs to the wall. We have to make this work. And we, just buckled down and we made it happen. And it was crazy because at that time we had no money for marketing at all. So what we would do is we would go to the rich neighborhoods around the area, and we would actually go through on bulk trash day and pick up their trash, and we would sell trash on Facebook Marketplace. And when we totaled the amounts, it was over $3,000 that we've made doing that. And it cost us nothing, and we put it all into marketing. And we did it together. We struggled together. Mm-hmm. And that's what.
So you guys in the neighborhood, and you said you're picking up trash.
Yeah, things like washers, dryers, things like that.
Getting
things
that they don't.
Yes.
Yeah,
got it. And that's how you're able to get money for marketing. Mm-hmm. That's grinding right there. And Marissa, you out there with them picking up the trash. Put it in.
I was.
I got you, baby. Let me put it in.
It was her idea. She was out walking one day, like you said, we were struggling, because that 14 months is a long time. COVID had just happened, because we started at the beginning of 2019 is when we first started wholesaling. And, we were.
And when you say started wholesaling, what were you guys doing? Were you like joining groups, networking, just learning more about, wholesaling, but never really kind of getting your foot yourself out there? Because I know for me personally, it took me about a year just kind of listening to people, looking it up. Same like you, this not real. I went to a couple boot camps. I ain't gonna put the names out here, but I kind of was like, I want my money back, like low key. It's like, oh, you close your first wholesale deal, you get your $500 back, and I'm like, I want my money back. Yeah. I closed my first wholesale deal a year after I went to this boot camp, and I was kind of like, I wonder if I should go back and be like, can I get my money back a year later? I finally closed my deal. Like, how long does this offer stand?
Yeah.
But it does take you a while to kind of get into it, and so, and that's the hardest thing is and for you guys, you didn't have the money to put in, but when you're putting out marketing, when you're putting out this, money, so to speak, and you're not getting anything, you're paying for leads or calling people. Were you guys cold calling, or were you texting, or how did you get started?
So the journey was very interesting for us. Like I said, we had, we probably spent 6 months just studying wholesaling in general. Like I said, that heat stroke happened in the middle of 2018. And that was like right when I was like, yo, we need to start reading some books. That's when she started teaching me. That's when we discovered real estate. And then we were just researching on Bigger Pockets, etc. January 2018.
I love Bigger Pockets, by the way. Shout out to Bigger Pockets. If anybody needs anything, they have forums. You can write in there. You can definitely get information. A very good supportive group.
Yeah. Sure. And then 2019 rolled around and we were like, okay, enough studying. We got to take some type of action. So then we went to our first meetup. We met a couple of joint venture partners that actually ended up JVing on us with that first deal that we closed 14 months later.
Nice.
So we had started, we went there, built some relationships. We started driving for dollars. Like this is like right when Deal Machine had just came out, and we were we were like testing both that and writing down addresses at the same time. So we didn't know how to really use it. We didn't know. We were just kind of going out there, like I said, failing forward.
Right.
At the beginning, we started cold calling. We locked up our first contract that March of 2019, locked it up too high. That's the scariest thing, is having to go and cancel.
Renegotiate.
Yeah, we'll try to renegotiate. Then it wouldn't happen. And so then we had to cancel, unfortunately. And, you do that enough times, it gets a little bit easier. But trust me, that first time is probably the scariest. I mean, I was so nervous getting on that phone call to let this guy know, like, hey, we basically can't perform. But, you learn from it.
I know, right? It's kind of like it's disappointing. You don't want to disappoint the clients, so then you got to come back like,
Yeah, it is very disappointing, very gut wrenching in the process. And, that was our first contract that fell through. And then, we're failing forward. We're cold calling. Like I said, we're single hand dialing. Like this is before we even knew about what a dialer was or what an SMS platform was, things like that. And then 6 months goes by, a guy by the name of Tony, the closer, I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he had put out this 30-day challenge, this free 30-day challenge where he introduced us to like PropStream, call tools, his SMS bulk platform, things. And so those actually really helped with the whole marketing side of things, because, you can only hit so much dialing.
Right.
So
definitely.
So that helped us, once we were introduced to those tools, we're like, oh my gosh, we were basically doing at Stone Age this entire time. That helped us start reaching more.
Still keep and write down on paper
all day. I mean, I still write down my notes.
Transfer it to the CRM, but I'm more so I write it down, especially if you're talking and you get that call back, but your system's not up or whatever. I'm so quick to jump and get anything and then go back to update. Very interesting. And so you guys kind of just network with a lot of people, talk to people, kind of educate.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
Did that for about a year, would you say? A year and a half?
Yeah, 14 months it took us. So yeah, then we, fast forward through 2019, we get down to December 2019. I called this guy. I was just on Call Tools, and I used the wrong number, and he had called me back and it's like, hey, I know you were calling for this person. I don't know who that is, but I actually have some like 20 acres of land I'm trying to sell out in the middle of nowhere, East Texas. So dude was like hella motivated. I called him back. Basically, he fit the 4 pillars. He had a timeline he needed to sell by. He was motivated.
Can you actually tell us? Wait a minute. See, we talking, right? Because I can talk to you all day long. Can you let them know what the 4 pillars are that you just said that your client hit these 4 pillars? When you call clients, what are the 4 pillars that you want to make sure to know if they're a good client and motivated?
So the 4 pillars are going to be, the motivation, their timeline to sell, the condition of the property, and of course the price that they're looking to sell at.
So did you guys catch that? You got the price, condition, the motivation, and what else I missed? Price, condition, motivation, and
timeline and price.
Timeline. Also, are they looking to move? What's their price? What's the condition of home? And are they motivated? So when you guys are in your business, whether it's with a partner or not, I just wanted to bring that out because those are the 4 most important important things that you need to know. Am I wasting my time with this lead, or do I need to, is this a lead that I need to follow up with, or is this a hot lead? Those are the 4 questions that you need to focus on. A lot of times people will tell you the condition of the property, this and that, you get into all these details. Nobody want to talk to you that long. They're kind of bored a little bit. You got to get into that after you get that motivation, because if you guys know, you'll be on the phone with clients. I had a client talking to me about karate one time, and I was just like, they teach you to build that relationship, right? You want to build rapport. But what we don't want to do is waste our time. You cannot waste your time. And there's nothing wrong with calling, being professional, and getting to the question. You understand what I'm saying? You can still build that relationship, but you want to get into the questions, and you want to make sure that you're doing that as quick as possible while you're also building that relationship. Like while they're telling you about their condition, and if they say, I don't know, my grandmother's from Northeast Baltimore or whatever. Oh, okay, I used to go to school up there. You know what I mean? Like just to continue to get the conversation going while you're getting your questions answered. I'm sorry, those are the 4 pillars, guys.
And that's all true. And like building rapport is huge, because with him, he was a trucker, and he was telling me all his pain points, why he's like, I just need to retire, all these things. So everything started to line up. And then eventually it was like I had those JV partners that we met at that meetup back in January 2019. We helped them. We asked them to help us assess the deal, all that, because we didn't know anything about land in the middle of East Texas. We don't know how to dispo that, or even think about how to sell that. So they helped us figure out the price point, locked them up under contract. I believe it was like $3,000 per acre or something like that is what we did. And so we ended up locking them under contract for 28. We sold it for $40,000, $12,000 assignment. And like she said, we had just lost our jobs, because remember, now we're in 2020 now. It's happening, January, February, right there at the end of February is right when, and beginning of March is right when COVID happened.
Correct.
Yeah, we were bartending, so restaurants shut down. So now we're out of a job. 1 week after the restaurant shut down, we closed that first deal for $12,000, and then we made our first $6,000, and we were just like, "Yo, we got to run it.
This is the run. Now, one thing I must say, because I love real estate, right? I love real estate. I wake up, I live, breathe, eat, sleep real estate. But real estate is the most up and down roller coaster. Like it could go high, and you have a good moment, and then when you have those low moments, it's like, and that's why I want to keep it real with my viewers. It's so important to know, yes, I love real estate, but you have moments like right now. I closed a deal last Monday. I have yet to get paid. Like, as a matter of fact, while I was in Texas, the day I left, you guys, I was supposed to be remotely closing a deal. So many things have happened in the last week. Wow. We're now in the next week, and I still haven't gotten my money. Okay? You talk about frustrating. It's really frustrating. But at the end of the day, I have to put my face on, right? And I got to go back out to the next one. And I have to continue to be and help and be the same way that I've always been. And so I say this to say, with you guys, being in a couple, I can definitely hear how through the thick and the thin, you guys stuck together. Tell me about if at all you had any disagreements, because we have disagreements, right? You might not agree, or you might be frustrated. Hey, money's not coming in. We didn't close this deal yet. Did you guys ever have a point where you got to that? And if so, how did you handle it?
Yeah, so there's been some times where we have had disagreements, but we also understand each other, and we know each other like the back of our hand. And, obviously that comes with time, experience. But the thing is that when we do have disagreements, we always like to communicate and have open lines of communication right off the bat. If something's bothering you, you have to be able to express that, but express it respectfully, to where you're not coming off as like attacking the other person or putting them down. You have to also respect who they are as an individual, because we do, we work together, we live together, we do everything together. So sometimes we can push each other's buttons, but we also know how to have fun in the process and to make a joke about it in the end. And we always end up, if something goes wrong, we always end up talking about it, fixing it, and then we move on. So we just, we fix it, solve it, we laugh about it, and then, we move on. Because in the end, there's no point in having this grudge against somebody, especially when you have, a business together, you live together, because something's going to suffer and you have to be able to work through it together. Because if not, then, something's going to go
I love when you say that. If you don't fix it, something is going to suffer. And a lot of relationships, especially in marriages with children, the children suffer. The business suffer, right? You got the two people that's feuding, but who's really suffering is the people that's in the middle, the business, and that's why I wanted to bring light on this show, because it's important for again, support. I love how you mentioned communicate. And I love how you mentioned, like, talk about it right there. If something's bothering you and you let that thing hover over to the next day or what have you. Now you're spilling all of this energy into stuff. You gotta have a business together. Next morning, you probably have to talk business stuff, right? You gotta be in a mindset around him. I don't want to, see him. And so I like how you communicate, deal with it right off the bat. And always make sure that you keep that open line of communication respectfully, right? Marissa and I talked, and we had a really good conversation, and I'm going to kind of bring this one too, but we talked about that alpha woman, right? When you're in a relationship and you're with a very strong woman, it's hard for us to kind of step back and let the men be the men, right? And so Marissa and I talked a lot about that with Jemarcus. Unfortunately, he was outvoted on that conversation, but we were talking about understanding the partner and understanding who we are. And so as a strong woman, we at times have to step back and allow the man to, be the man and allow them to do their decision. So we were talking about if Jemarcus has an idea, Marissa has an idea, but, Jemarcus is really strong on his idea. Marissa has to step back and let Jemarcus has his idea. And then if that situation doesn't work out, now she's here to support him, right? Like, she's always here to support, but she has to allow him to make his path. And as he makes his path and does his thing, if it's something that now it didn't work out, now Marissa can come in and say, okay, well, let's try this. Oh, okay, let's do this. But, it's important to allow the man to be the man. And then for us to really support and take that role. And to be honest, Marissa, you're doing that from the very beginning. I think it's important to do that, to support. I can't stress enough. It really was a huge part into why I got divorced. I would have stayed with my husband had I had that support. I would have stayed with him. Honestly, I probably would have been killing. Not probably. I would have been killing. My husband was a car salesman, so he sold cars. He's already into sales.
Yeah,
bringing that into. I would have killed the business.
Yeah, for sure.
But I didn't have that in-team support that you got. It was more of a, we're in two different categories. He's in cars, I'm in houses, and we just couldn't connect the two together, right? We just couldn't. But that's what makes me like, darn, if I had that, I'd have probably been way. I probably moved to California somewhere, been aging over there by somewhere out. Already have my own brokerage. Who knows? But the point is, I think it's so important in couples to do that, because I believe in building together, and I believe in supporting each other, and also like I said, the things that go on in between, you got to be able to keep those separate and really ensure that the business doesn't suffer or the children don't suffer. Very, very important. And I love how you said that about communication. And I'm also twisting this in. And you guys pray a lot, right? And so prayer helps to really keep things in. So that way we're dealing, and now we're moving and making decisions with our Holy Spirit, right? We're allowing our spirit and being led by God, who's really making that thing move out for us. Fast forward from, okay, you guys had your first deal, you made your 12 grand. Let me know right now where's your business, as far as how many deals you got on the board and what's your closing fund target projected for September.
So right now, it was crazy. So, we go from that 6K deal, then we ended up getting a partnership, or the 12K deal, which we got half of that. So it was 6. So then shortly after that, we ended up getting another partnership with someone in Kansas City, because, that's somewhere we resided from. We know the market over there. And we ended up doing a little over 100K with them, between Kansas City and Dallas. And then, like you said.
That's the market you guys in Kansas City and Dallas that you market.
Those were the markets we were in at the time. Now we're, nationwide.
I was going to say, you already know it. Going to that Crucible event. I think we all virtual now.
Yep. Shout out to Tidy. Yep.
Yeah, shout out to RJ and Cassie. Thank you guys so much on that Crucible event. It definitely is changing lives for sure.
Yeah. Everything does happen for a reason. You know, we had originally just severed that partnership recently. And then right after that same week, you know, we end up at the Titanium Crucible. And because of the Crucible, we're already seeing crazy results. Right now we got, you know, 5 deals on the board.
Hey,
no, and that's just a month after being in the Crucible, with about almost 60K in, you know, net to us profit when it's all said and done.
Ain't splitting with nobody, are you? No, I got to split this deal because now you got it.
Exactly. So yeah, right now we have 2 of them are pending close right now, which same kind of scenario with you, you know, they just keep getting pushed back, you know, and these are things that are out of our control. We've done everything that we're supposed to do on our end. And these are things that are just out of our control, whether it's something we're waiting on.
We should be the title company. I can just keep it real for a second. I want to drive to New Jersey and I want to shake this title company up. It's called Real Tech Title. I don't care. I'm putting it out there. Real Tech Title in New Jersey, run really fast, like really fast. This title company, I've asked for a manager, supervisor. I asked for a CD. I told you the deal closed last Monday. Hey, can I get a copy of the closing disclosure? Just got it yesterday. And I'm missing a signature on it.
Wow.
They didn't tell us the day we were supposed to close that is an HOA lien on a property. Now, the HOA lien has been paid. They just didn't get a release from the lawyer's office stating it's been paid. Paid. Just don't have the paper to say it's paid. Help me out for 2 weeks.
What?
Wow.
So, you know, I say this to say it is the most up and down, you know, roller coaster. So what's going on with your 2 pending deals you guys have?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
What's going on with the 2 pending deals you guys have?
So with the 2 pending deals that we have, there was liens on the property and the seller had paid the liens. However, we are waiting on a certificate of payment from the county. So seller paid his receipt. Everything's paid. Once title has that receipt, then from the county, then we can go ahead and close. But we keep checking in with county. County's still saying, you know, what they want to say, dragging their feet.
Right.
The other deal was a probate deal, and title company is waiting on 1 piece of document that needs to be signed by the judge. And it was signed, and so we're waiting on confirmation that they received it from the county.
Nice.
Like we're waiting and waiting. We keep following up, and you know, it's pending right now. But we know that once those come in, then it's all good. You know,
that's what I had to say about my deal. You know, because you know it's coming, right? It's nothing else that they can say. No, this is not a deal. It's just waiting for that paperwork. You know, I called that release. I was in the airport. Calling them, I was like, okay, today we got to get them on the phone. Like, what's going on with closing? You know what I mean? It was really crazy, but I had to come to realize, like, you know what, the deal's going through. You know, it's going to be done. Let me move on to the next one. You know what I mean? You can't get stuck around the little things that happening. You got to always focus on the next deal. You know, just kind of, even when I'm up, I'm already focused on the next deal.
Right.
So, you know, you definitely got to be like that for sure. So now you have 5 deals on the board, which is amazing. You're projected to make 60K this month. I'm sorry, I mean say year. My bad, y'all. Let me fix that. 60K this month. And so doing it together. Tell me about now. What has this vehicle, this real estate vehicle, provided you guys now? Because I know you have your dog business, right? Which I knew that you guys had a dog business because I saw you posting it online, right? When I went to your house, I didn't smell dog. I didn't see like going to the next morning. Remember the dog came and I was like, there's dogs in here. Like, I didn't even know. They are really well trained. So guys, if you're in the Texas area, shout out to Marissa. Like, they are definitely taking care of their dogs. They train them. They're interacting with the other dogs. And they're really taking care of very well. And I couldn't even tell that dog. I didn't hear a bark until the next morning. The dog, and he still didn't even bark, but he was just like, you know, sniffing and wanting to know who I was. But I was like, wow, I've never been around dogs that were really well trained. You guys call them, they come, you know, right away. It wasn't any, you know, running around the house like, oh, crazy. They were really trained. But I say this, being able to do what you guys love to do in real estate now, has provided you that kind of freedom to now you guys make your own schedule, right? Now you're able of the businesses, and it's really allowing you guys to do what? Spend more time, right? You have that family time, you get to create that. So I'm putting these words out because you guys are my friends. From you, tell me, what has this being able to get into real estate, what has it truly done for your life?
Yeah, so real estate has been able to be that vehicle to fund our goals and our dreams. And tying back to our, previous conversation at the beginning, when we support each other. So my dream is to have to take care of the bully breed, to change the perspective on it. So we partnered up with his mentor, Trevor, and we are now kennel partners with Trevor. And we created Fit Bully Kennels, which is right behind us. So we created Fit Bully Kennels, and what we're going to do is we want to basically reinvent the wheel when it comes to these dogs, and we want to make sure that these dogs are bred the healthiest way possible. A lot of people, they don't know what they're doing when they come to breeding dogs, and what we do is we want to create the best dog to have the longest longevity so people can enjoy them longer. So show dogs, support animals, police dogs. So we're partnering up with people here in the Dallas area and also in Germany that want to use training methods for protection dogs. So the police academy here, we train them as well for their protective dogs. What I want to do specifically with the breed is I want to train the bully breed to be a service dog for veterans and for people with needs and health issues that they need help with. And these bully breed dogs, they're going to also be protection trained. So if I go outside on a morning walk, I don't have to worry about, somebody trying to harm me because I have, my protection dog there. And also if I have any health issues or health concerns, they're able to address it before it happens. So right now I'm in the process of training our dog Envy, which is a pup that I've had. I'm in the process of training her to smell for anxiety and panic attacks. So we're starting that training when she becomes 6 months. She's 12 weeks now. So we're slowly but surely getting into the command. She's picking up very well. And that's something that I want to do, is I want to help veterans and people that need help while also changing the stipulation around the bully breed. And then also for Jemarcus, tell her what you'd like to do.
Yes. Well, real quick, Marissa, I could see that everything you said when I was in your home and you were talking to me about what you're doing, the love and passion that you have for this is so there. I think you're the perfect person to do it, to be honest. And what you're doing, like, because I was like, oh my gosh, he's a pit bull, and he's not like, barking and like running all crazy. You guys have really trained them really well. But everything that I can see you doing that, we definitely pray for everything that you want for that dream and that passion to come through. When you are into something not for yourself but for others, God is going to bless that dream and that vision that you have. And it's going to be so huge for what you're doing for the community and partnering up with so many people that I just, wish you out on all of that, because that is so important to be able to, create your own job and your own wave, right? And your own money. So now you can be able to go out and really day in and day out, have these dogs, take that training, take that time to save them. I remember you said your first dog you rescued, was just outside, and you literally had this dog for how many years?
I've had her for 13 years now. 13 years. And she walked up to me on the street and we picked her up and put flyers around. Nobody wanted her. So she went to college with me. She moved across the country with me. We've done everything together.
Amazing, though. And Jemarcus, tell me, what has real estate been able to provide for you in your dreams?
So, as we said, real estate's a vessel for us. For me personally, I'm big into movies, things like that, filmmaking. And it just got to the point, after spending that year with my mentor and learning all I can with them, learning about my own personal capabilities and what I'm capable of, I realized so many limitations that I had on myself. And then realizing that, that we all as human beings are capable of anything. We just got to unlock those doors, right? So that year I spent with them, a lot of doors were unlocked. And I realized that, as long as you simply, as cliche as it is, if you really do put your mind to something, you can achieve that goal. You just have to be patient with the process and trust the process and know that as long as you're going down that road, anything is possible. So with that being said, me personally, I'm big into movies. I want to get into filmmaking. I don't know if y'all know, but I'm half Black, half Native American. I'm big into my Native culture. I'm Navajo Indian. And there's a lot of stories out there that need to be told that have not been heard. A lot of things that we've not learned in school that I've learned outside of it that need to be heard. So a lot of the movies that I'm going to make film-wise are going to be all based around these events that have happened in history.
Can we put paint on my face? Can we put a little paint on my face so I could be in the movie? Can we
yeah, there you go.
Be a little bit lighter?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, what you talking about, Willis? I will get into character. I will get into it. Listen, hit me up when you're ready for that debut. I could be the person just behind the chair, don't even say nothing. One of those, an extra? There you go. I would sit at the table and be like, I'm just teasing, but that's really good. So film, that's a great, start. Mm-hmm. You already have the foundation there to do. And I remember you did talk about the movies before. Are you actually, would you be in them as well as making them? Are you going to be a part of your films, or are you just going to be behind the scenes?
So I'm definitely going to, I'm going to be producing, directing. I probably will even do some acting in the process.
Rico Suave, I see you on Facebook. Come on. Exactly. I tease with y'all. I said, you know what? I wanted to go on your blog and just go in the middle of the street. Like, where the photographer at that y'all know? He be taking the dopest pictures of y'all. I'm like in the middle of the street, like.
Yeah, and that's all stuff that we learned from my mentor, my good friend Trevor, who's partners with us with Fit Bully and stuff like that. He's one of the smartest individuals I've ever met. But he's the type of person, he is like, he'll put a camera in your hand, he'll be like, go figure it out. And that's exactly what he did.
That's right, though.
Yeah, at one point,
because you're natural. Sometimes in acting, they teach you not to look at the camera or whatever. You just gotta talk and be normal. And for some reason, when somebody tell you to do that, we do the opposite, right? We be like, hello, I'm in the camera, and you're not supposed to look. But that's just something in human nature that we do, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But that would be awesome. And this real estate vehicle would be good for you to be able to fund and have capital for things that you're doing for the movie, right?
That's exactly right.
For you, Marissa, is going to be capital for that building you might want to, because God going to bless this business. Says you're going to need a commercial property to now have people working for you. Yep. Like when you have a vision and God allow us and bless us. I don't know about you guys. I've been so blessed. Since I got into real estate, like I said, it's the most up and down roller coaster, right? Sometimes I'm like, yes, I'm married in real estate. Then I want a divorce. Money don't come through. I'm like, send the money. I'm divorcing you for a day. But it's the best decision that we can make. And when God has blessed us with this, if anybody out there watching, if you are interested in becoming a wholesale, if you want to be an agent, reach out to us. Reach out to me. I'm always here to let you know about the business, how you can get started, what you can do. But this is the best gift that God could have ever blessed me with. Now, keep in mind, our blessings and our gifts might not be expensive. Real estate might not be for everybody, and that's okay. But those that get it and that take action and that utilize it, it really changes your life. And I don't know about you guys, but I want a life-changing experience. I want my children's life to be changed. I want my children's life to be changed. I want to raise my mom. I want to purchase my mom a house. Like, I'm just working on so many great things because I know it's a lot of things in store because I'm not doing this for myself. I'm doing this for other people. And I'm doing it to get out of that, what we call like generational curse, right? Like, I'm trying to just change and create my own wave. I want to share something with you guys. But before I get into sharing, Jemarcus, tell me something that could really reach out to people, whether they're a couple or not. Talk about partners at this point, but leave us with something that we could really give a nugget to people that are in a partnership together and enter real estate. What's something that you would take away to them?
Biggest thing always core values. That has got to be probably one of the number one things you need to establish first overall anything, because y'all got to be on the same page. And even for us, we even have couples core values outside of just like business core values. We have our own personal values among.
Did you touch that? I gotta bring it back. Every time you talk about bring it back. So he's talking about business core values and then couples core values. So if you are together, if it's somebody, even if you're dating them, but you guys are doing business, like figure that stuff out early. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like you don't want to play house if it is in or not. So get into the core values of the relationship, companionship, and then the business. Okay, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Well, as far as our couple's core values, it starts with these 5 things: it's quality time, it's respect, growth, communication, and love. We think those are all just like the pillars of our relationship that really hold things strong, for us. And like I said, and that's what works for us. Communication is always a big one. Even just recently, we had a recent, I think you were actually here that weekend, and I told you about it briefly. Yeah. So as far as communication is concerned, the importance of it, not just in business, but even in your personal relationship, you got to make sure that you express yourselves to one another, because you never know what the other person is thinking, what they might be going through, or what they even want, from the relationship. At the time, I had my head down on business mode. I'm working. I'm over here thinking, I'm like, grind, provide, just trying to make as much money as possible so I can make sure everybody's eating, the family and the household is taken care of. But then what I forgot about was the relationship side, So her and I were like this, and she's like, telling me, she's like, hey, it just came out of nowhere, left field. But she's like, hey, I just been feeling this way. And she's like, I just wanted to mention that, like, I've been asking about these things around the house that need to get done. And me personally, like I said, I've been in grind mode. I literally kind of just put those on the back burner, and I didn't realize how much they meant to her in terms of them getting done. So when she expressed that to me, and you could see and hear the concern in her voice and see it on her face, that hit home for me. And I'm like, this is the love of my life. She means the world to me. And if I'm not taking care of home first, then the business won't work, because one won't work without the other. And so I was like, you know what, let me, it was a Saturday. I was like, I had planned on doing text blasting and calls that day. I was like, pause on the business. This is more important.
Absolutely. Business is going to be there. Go get your woman.
Exactly.
Go get my sis.
Exactly. Everything that she brought up. Yep.
She's going to be there too, but we want to say that, we want you to get to her. But, all the support that she has given you all this long time, she deserves that, Now that the business is rolling, now that things are going, you definitely got to make sure. I love you guys' core values, and you want to make sure that you are definitely taking care of her. Like, I'm not going to grill you on a grill tip, but she held down in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
She held down. She day one. And so now that those wheels are turning, I love the fact that you're able to really take in and quick in. Because when I came down, and I was just kind of generally talking, right? I was like, oh, this is that. And he was like, that's funny because we just went through that. And I wasn't thinking you would say like yesterday, because you guys were still, very well connected. I couldn't see any just behavior between the two. Wasn't any disconnection there. Had you not said that, I didn't know. So it's very important to make sure that whatever you're going through, talk about it immediately. And then you guys are able to laugh about it, literally, because I thought you were going to say it happened like a month ago. But you was like, no, it just happened like, yesterday? And then you guys were sitting there like, we were chuckling about it. So I think it's definitely important to communicate. It's definitely important to make sure that you have those core values, right? So guys, if you're just tuning in with us, we're just wrapping up, just talking about the things that we really talked about over the show. And one of them is making sure that, you have core values in your personal relationship, as well as in your business. So there's two different things, right? And this is for people that are a couple. If you're not a couple and you're still on the partnership, then you want to make sure that your core values for your partnership is there. So it's two different ones. And I want to make sure that we're clear on that. You also want to make sure you have that quality time for each other. Make sure that you stop and continue to date and do the things that you were doing before the business.
Yep.
Marissa and Jemarcus were showing that if you do not do things, something is going to suffer, whether it be your children, you are together in a marriage, you have children, or the business, or both. And the thing is, we don't want to do that. We want to be able to create power couples, right? We want to be able to create strong couples. And that's why I wanted to do this show for anybody that's in a relationship. Please like, share, and comment. Share this with someone. Someone can benefit from what we're talking about. Even if it doesn't serve you, that's fine. But we're in it to talk about serving and helping other people. So if you know somebody, if you can reach out to somebody, tag their name here, like, share, and comment. Reach out to my folks, Marissa and Marcus. Hey, they are available. And they will definitely talk to you about their experience. Very great couple. We love the network, right? You can go to so many network groups, hit them up. Let us know where we can find you guys.
So you can find me on Facebook. Facebook is Marissa Rodriguez. Just go and send me a message. I have tons of requests, but I want to make sure that I add, those who want to connect. So just send me a message. Let me know, that you watch this, and I'll go ahead and add you. We can connect. Also on Instagram, you can find me. It's at Miss_Live_Free. And then also the Fit Bully Kennels, you can go ahead and follow at Fit Bully Kennels and at Fit Bully Kennels Dallas.
Yep. Love it. How about you, bro? How can we find you?
And then for me on Facebook, just Jemarcus Best. And then on same thing, like you said, just send me a DM saying that you watched this, because like I said, we have tons of people hitting us up all the time. And then also
here.
Yeah. And then on Instagram, you can I'm at the_live_free_CEO on IG. And just hit us with a follow. We appreciate everybody coming out today, seriously, because it's been quite a journey, and trust me, there's so much more that we need to share that y'all don't know about, which is.
I was going to say, we need to do a part 2, because honestly, I'm going to take all of us that went to the Crucible and went to that event, and I'm going to get RJ Bates, and I'm getting Cassie on here, and we're going to have so many screens pouring, but everybody who has a success story being with Crucible, I'm really going to share our story. I'm getting started with everything. I came back and was dealing with school. None of my kids are in school and things are regular. Let's get ready to turn up to a whole nother level. I've just been pulling mad data. I got 50,000 properties right now. Working on a skip and I got my systems and stuff set up. So I'm kind of in that watch. Okay, this is what I need to do. Copy paste these into it. I'm gonna call you guys after these questions for you, but when this is over, I'll call you guys because I have a couple questions for you, Jemarcus.
Okay. Yeah, please do.
Marissa says, I call you the dispo queen, right? You are my girl. Let everybody know, guys, if you got a deal right now in Dallas, Houston, whatever areas are you in, Marissa has hedge fund connections. Hit her up.
Yes, I have hedge fund connections. So I work exclusively with hedge funds. And the thing is that if you need a deal dispoed, slide into my DM, send me a message.
That's a DM she wants. If it ain't about the money.
They pay high dollar. We want to make sure that you get your deal sold. And most importantly, we want to make sure that you have high quality people that you're working with. So if you have a deal you need dispoed anywhere, just let me know. Please send me a message. They prefer major metro areas and surrounding. So if you have something like that, please let me know. And then I'll let you know if we pass, or I'll let you know if that's something that we can move forward with for sure.
Amazing. And like they said, guys, have them up in a DM. That way they can add you. If you have a deal, hit Marissa up. She's always in groups posting that she's looking for deals. She's looking to help. She's available. Guys, even if you get a JV deal, a deal is a deal. They said their first JV deal, they made $6,000. So, you continue to build whatever you have. Don't sit on any deal information. Just reach out. We're available. Without further ado, guys, I want to share the best news that I've got yesterday, actually. I am the top producer in my company for August of last month.
Yes.
My individual, because we have teams in our brokerage. So shout out to Realty One Group of Excellence. Thank you so much, David, Bridget, and the whole team. I love being a part of Realty One. I love being an agent. It's why I call myself the powerhouse realtor, right? Because I'm the best of both worlds. I have the best when it comes to the investment mindset as well as a realtor mindset. And I always make sure I have the best interest for my clients. For me, I'm not about labels though. Literally, and my brokerage is so humble. Like my brokerage, I have the Realty One Group. We doing it, but we are very humble, right? And so I talked to the broker. I said, "Did you say anything about it?" Like, "Yeah, you were telling me congratulations." I didn't say anything about it. I didn't say it. And so opening up that, for me, it just reminded me of every time I go, I'm working on the next one. Who can I help next? I'm not in it for, this is only 3,000. This is only this. I don't want to do it. Who can I help now? And so when I was given that label and I saw, open up the newsletter and I saw that, I was like, thank you, God. Thank you, God, that my work is being recognized. However, I don't need a label, you know what I mean, to put on who I am inside. But it just felt really good to see that. And it was like, you know what? I'm out here killing it. Regardless of what's, I'm out here killing it. I'm so happy that I got to real estate. I love the fact of being able to help people and just, every client I have in the house, I'd be like, girl, shut up. I'd be talking too much. I'm like, they got the sub pump down here. You got this right here. If you do this, if you put a closet in, you get extra bedroom. I just got a listing yesterday and I told my client, I said, you need to put another bedroom in there. If you put a closet. I said, call your guy. If he could put a closet in here, you could list for $265. He called me back up. I was like, we can get the closet. Deal. Let's go. So I'm really excited. And I just wanted to say that to you guys to say, when we don't look at titles or labels, but we just genuinely do in our heart to help, God is going to make sure that everything that you need is going to really come to that conference. Every single thing that you need. When you put God first and you put others first, and you don't be in things for malicious reasons or to, be grimy or slick with people, we don't do business. And when we're around positive people and we're networking with positive people, it helps us step our status up more, And so I appreciate you guys so much. I thank you guys for coming on the show. I thank you guys for opening your house. Yes. I just thank you guys for just being a part of, our family. Coming to the gala and meeting you guys for everything last year. And I'm just so excited for more of what you're doing. Next time I'm in town, I'm going to shout you out. I'll see you guys. I'm coming through. For sure. Yes. And that's this Jen. I love Jen. Oh my God, she cried, didn't she? I just love her spirit. Jen, if you're watching this, shout out to you, Jen. Love you guys so much. Anybody that's going down Atlanta this weekend, y'all be safe. You guys going to Atlanta this weekend to the meetup? Kind of last minute, right?
Although we definitely should be, but unfortunately we are not.
I can't go either. I'm going to be in Ocean City with my new listing, so I got to get to the money. But shout out to anybody that's going down Atlanta. Y'all be safe for sure, and come back and let us know what y'all learned.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, let us know. And real quick, one other thing that we wanted to share real quick, in terms of just couples. I know this is a book that really helped us. The 5 Love Languages.
I've heard of that.
Great read.
Great read.
It definitely helps you identify, each other's love language. Like me, I'm touch and words of I'm
gonna click that in the thing so that people can get that. I'm gonna put a link to that in the comments.
Yeah, words of affirmation and touch are like my love languages. Hers is quality time, and then also acts of service. And so knowing those things really help understand each other and connect. So like I said, there's times when I notice that she's not in the right mood, I'm like, okay, when was the last time we went on a date? When was the last time we spent any quality time together? I can help identify those things. That incident that we had a few weeks back, it was acts of service. Like I said, there's things that she needed done and I wasn't doing them. So I was like, you know what? I put everything paused on business and I went out and made sure I executed all those things for her because those are things that mean the most to her. And then I can fill her love tank. And when your love tank is full, that's what keeps things thriving. And that's what's helped us up into this point is understanding each other's love languages. And just like, everyone, we all evolve. So those love languages can change over time, so just be mindful of those. But I highly recommend that book for any couple out there. It definitely has helped us tremendously. And it's one that we'll always share with, every couple who ever comes in contact with us and has questions. We'll always recommend reading that book. Because
definitely. I was going to say, even if you're not in a business, guys, definitely get that book. If you're not even living with it, it doesn't matter. If you're dating and you're with somebody you've been dating for 6 months or more, you still want to learn that love language. You want to learn it and do it early. Because sometimes we learn the wrong way, right? Unlearn. That's harder. So get that book now, whether you are, physically with someone on a long term or if it's short term or whatever, even if you want to understand you, because in order for us to be with somebody, right, you need to know what your love language is. That way, when you are with someone and things happen, you automatically know what you need and you're not trying to figure out, well, what is it that I need? So I encourage everyone to get the book, whether you're with someone or not, to understand yourself. And definitely, if you're in a relationship, you want to make sure that you get that book ASAP. I'm going to have make sure you get a link down so that people can click on it if they do want to purchase it. And Marissa, I did not ask you one question that I asked Jemarcus, but can you leave us this with something that we can feedback? It could be anything. It could be towards women, real estate, whatever. But I want you to leave us with something from Marissa, this folk queen.
So what I want to let everyone know is to just keep trying, just keep going. It's one of those things where sometimes you have bad days where you feel like you're not making any headway. You're not getting through to people. Just keep going, because even though, you can get into the repetitiveness, you want to make sure that you keep marketing, because if you get stuck trying to, in a sense, do transaction coordination, like what we're trying to do now, make sure our deals get closed, and you don't do anything on the front end as far as marketing, for that next month, you're going to not have any deals come through because you're stopping all marketing. Just keep going, keep that repetitive cycle, put your head down and just work, because it's going to pay off, and it's going to pay off big and hit big when it does. And it'll all be from your consistent efforts.
I love that. That was a heck of a way to end. That was a heck of if anybody didn't catch that, guys, you sleep right now. You know, at the end of the show, I need y'all to wake up and just keep it into us, guys. Stay consistent, stay the course, and don't give up. What Marissa is saying, no matter what part of your business, what you're doing, continue. Keep that marketing flowing. Continue to put yourself out there. Continue to build your leads. You're going to get a hit. And when you get it, you need to be ready. And if you don't get fire, hit me up personally. I want to buy the house. If you're in the areas, any other area, Marissa has hit funds. So, and even still, hit Marissa up. If you're still in the area, I can't afford it. The hedge funds can hit Marissa up. She definitely has access to hedge funds. I'm working with her myself. I'm looking for properties as well. And like I said, it's always an opportunity to be and network and work. So look my sister up, and don't forget, guys, hit them up in the inbox so you can make sure that you let them know you watched the show, and they will automatically go ahead and accept you and make sure that we're networking with you. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to Keeping It Realty. Until next time, peace.
See you guys.